Welcome or welcome back, I hope. So we are now in this 25th session. And so after 24 hours around the world, we're back in Nice and at Université Côte d'Azur. So in this 25th session, we're going to talk about diplomacy. We're going to talk about international diplomacy and scientific diplomacy. And of course, we'll have a segment dedicated to the roadmap of Université Côte d'Azur as part of UNOC. So for this last panel, I'm really happy to be joined by
Sylvain Antonietti, a researcher at the Université Côte d'Azur and the Vice President for IDEX Strategy. And we're also delighted to be rejoined by Cécile Saboreau, who joined us for the first session, and we're glad that she's able to join us for the last session. Cécile is a professor in marine ecology at the Université Côte d'Azur and the Vice President for International Affairs.
Also, we're going to have a short interview with Valériane Toll. She's postdoc at international law at Sherbrooke University, and Emily Hamilton, a MARE student. So the last MARE student, thank you too for coming back, and who is currently in immersion projects at the University of Costa Rica. Well, Emily, I think we're going to start with you with a specific experience that you had a few months ago. And it was in Brussels. Voilà. So it's very interesting because we have a general alarm on campus, but just outside the campus, and we have a total electric failure, but we are quite resilient after 24 hours. So Emily, as I was saying, yes, Juliette, it's the final countdown, and we're going to make it. Emily, just before you come back on this experience, I believe you have a short video that I hope, despite all the conditions around, we're going to see.
Areas beyond national jurisdiction make up about 2/3 of the ocean and is a common problem because they are owned by everyone but nobody at the same time. The BBNJ, or the Agreement under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea on the Conservation and Sustainable Use of Marine Biodiversity in Areas Beyond National Jurisdiction, aims to better implement UNCLOS and is currently in the process of being ratified.
This March, I had the opportunity to represent Université Côte d'Azur in a mock simulation of BBNJ directive negotiations. Organized by l'Agence Universitaire de la Francophonie, the simulation brought together students from 5 different countries to act as state delegates in a mock meeting for the Committee on Access and Benefit Sharing. Each student took on a different state to have 13 countries represented. Over several days, we engaged in realistic negotiations surrounding Part 2 of the treaty, or marine genetic resources, in 4 structured working sessions. Each session focused on a specific issue, such as a more graduated and equitable framework for accessing marine genetic data, strengthened traceability of digital sequence information, capacity building for developing nations, and lastly, a more inclusive governance framework for indigenous and local knowledge. We first presented national positions, then debated, and finally co-drafted guideline proposals in contact groups to recommend to the conference of the parties.
So the whole neighborhood is having no more power. I hope you can hear me, Sylvain and Emily. Yes, okay.
But how I was saying was it was really cool to have students from a various amount of backgrounds, such as scientific, which is the background that I was joining from, and political sciences, and there's law students and stuff like that. And I thought it was really interesting to see the mix and the different point of views that those students were making in the discussions. Because when I was listening to how they were forming their initial positions and stuff like that, we could see that the actual point of view coming from, sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to word it, coming from like how they were forming their national position of the country they're representing was different based on what background they came from, and how they rebounded on different negotiations, and how they rebounded on different negotiations and different comments during the negotiations. And it was really cool to see the mix. And since there was students from 5 different countries, which was Côte d'Ivoire, Canada, Haiti, Switzerland, and France. I think there was only 5 it was really interesting to see we were all speaking French, but I really liked how that we are having a representative of a whole bunch of countries to also see their point of views on their topic. And we got to meet people from different countries that we never would have had to meet without the experience.
Yeah, thank you, Emily. It's true that it was interesting to start on the position of all the countries, but to find at some point a consensus. The idea was to find a consensus, which is generally the method in COPs. I hope you can still hear me. So unfortunately, we are not going to be able to share immediately the message from Valerian. We will do that just right after because the server is down. So in this degraded condition, I'm sorry, Sylvain, to give you the floor. Sylvain, so you're the Vice President for IDEX initiative. And so I guess you can tell us a little bit more about the scientific diplomacy. So what's the role of science, of universities and Université Côte d'Azur in this diplomacy?
Yeah, thank you, Christophe. The good news is that I don't have video to share, nothing special, so it's going to be a very limited consumption of resource here. Thank you for organizing all that very original event in 24 hours. I mean, talking about science around the clock, so it's very, very impressive. And also thank you for giving me a few minutes to talk about our strategy on this topic. My role as Vice President of Université Côte d'Azur in charge of the Initiative of Excellence have been and is to continue the transformation of our university to create a research-intensive higher education institution open to the world and looking for impact. Obviously, the most significant target for impact are the global challenges that we are facing. So the scientific diplomacy might be defined different way. We don't have the time for a formal lecture on scientific diplomacy, but it has been in the past having a bit of science in diplomacy, like for cooperation purpose, for example. Sometimes it's also when you have science actually helping diplomacy in situations where countries might have some cold relationship on the diplomatic side, they may continue to have scientific relationships. So this has been used for decades. What we are looking for as a university in scientific diplomacy is to have more impact and to be more in relationship with political leaders and stakeholders. A university, basically, or any higher education institution is both creating knowledge and also transferring this knowledge at the same time to their students. And we also take part in innovation programs. So we are also somehow, we can be considered as providers of solutions for some of the global challenges I mentioned. We also felt at Université Côte d'Azur that the conversion rate of this knowledge towards policy was actually low, and we actually embark into this scientific diplomacy program for that purpose of having more the capacity to transfer knowledge at the best level, the most appropriate level for decision makers. The first example has been to be involved in COP. We went for the first time in COP in Glasgow, and we learned at each COP how to actually involve and how to be taking roles into panels or scientific discussions to also be in capacity to reach to people in the organization, in the international organization. So we have been involved in this planetary event. We are also obviously involved in UNOC, not only because we have a lot of interest in marine science, but also because the location, obviously, in Côte d'Azur. We are also involved in other IPCC events. So to be as most efficient as possible on this challenge, we have been redesigning the university towards a more interdisciplinary approach, both in research and in teaching. And this is we used to be, like most higher education institutions, structured in disciplinary silos. So we have been trying to actually redesign this organization to be more on thematic issues than on disciplinary issues. And we support and valorize research and teaching on global challenges, and we advocate for climate change science, we advocate for sustainability, access to higher education, and academic freedom. We also felt that to make the voice of academia actually counting, and to make sure that we are actually heard by political leaders, we also partner a lot, and we are involved in several networks, and the most notable one is the network of network. That might seems a little bit strange as a concept of network, but actually this is the way to gather as much universities as possible to actually be able to actually talk to political leaders in large international institutions. So the network of network can be seen by these government level persons as the voice of academia. And this is also some way to make sure that the voice of academia is counting. We also...
Go ahead, Sylvain. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. No, I thought we had another problem that you want to warn me about.
No, we're good.
It's good. Okay, I'm almost done. But we also practice what we preach, and we value a lot multilateralism and multiculturalism. And importantly, we try to involve students in our activities. The testimony of Emily just a few minutes ago is an example of how we try to have students involved. It was here in the case of simulation, but we also have students involved in IPCC event in Bonn to prepare the COP, and also we try to take students with us at the COP as well. So it's important to train them for sure the next generation, and but also we are having actions to train political leaders and negotiators at all scales of the organization, from the local authorities to the government representative level. So this is the summary of the taste of scientific diplomacy at Université Côte d'Azur. Thank you.
Thank you, Sylvain. Something that you just said resonates a lot with something that I've seen, that in this negotiation, like the COP for climate, of course, it's really important to find solutions for climate, but something really nice is that at least countries who are not talking to each other that much anymore, they continue to talk, at least on that aspect, and it's really inspiring. Thank you, Sylvain. So we found a kind of a bit of normality back here on the degraded server. Cécile, if you can hear us well, it's now time for you as Vice President for International Affairs to introduce the roadmap of Université Côte d'Azur as part of UNOC.
Okay, thank you, Christophe. So I am Cécile Sabroux, I'm the Vice President for International Affairs, and I'm also the head of the Marine Ecology Lab, EcoSys, at Université Côte d'Azur. And I will try to present you all the events that will take place in Nice during the UNOC 3. So first of all, the whole academic community is mobilized to take part of the UNOC 3. So more than 35 events are being organized in Nice, or co-organized by Université Côte d'Azur. And you will get the link to see all the events, and we have a big table with all events. So first of all, UNOC 3 will be preceded by 3 very high special UN events. The first one is what they call One Ocean Science Congress, which will bring together more than 2,000 researchers, including young researchers from Université Côte d'Azur, who will present their work as oral or poster presentations. These scientists will deliver recommendations to heads of state and government. The second one will take place on June 7th. This is a summit of coastal cities, coastal regions, and island states, strengthened by rising sea levels. And this event will be chaired by the mayor of Nice, Christian Estrosi, and will bring together elected representatives and decision makers to accelerate collaboration, access to knowledge, and funding to adapt to climate and ocean change. Researchers from Université Côte d'Azur took part to several workshops, and they will be at this event, and they will share their expertise. And finally, the third one will take place in Monaco on the 7th and 8th of June for the Blue Economy and Finance Forum. And the heads of states, companies, and civil society will meet to make a significant financial commitment to the blue economy and propose innovative blue financial tools. So hopefully we'll also have researchers there for this event. And then we have two other high-level events that concern the academic community of Université Côte d'Azur. On June 7th, again, in the morning, around 100 representatives of universities from all over the world are coming together for the first International Forum of Marine Universities. This forum is co-organized by Université Côte d'Azur, Sorbonne University, and the French network of marine universities, and the president of our university, Yannick Briefs-Walter, will give the welcome words. So it's a completely open event which will take place at the Centre Universitaire Méditerranéen, and you are all invited to register and to take part to this event. And then on June 10th, a thematic day called the Mediterranean Day will be devoted to the Mediterranean basin and the challenges associated with the effects of climate change. And this multi-stakeholder day will bring again together national and regional political authorities, international organizations, development banks, business, civil society, non-governmental organizations, and researchers in several panels focusing on key cooperation priorities. Several students from Université Côte d'Azur will join the Youth Dialogue on Digital Transition to exchange views with the European Commissioner for the Mediterranean, Dubravka Šuica. And then, of course, we have the big event from the 2nd to 13th of June at the Palais des Expositions de Nice, which will rename for the occasion the La Baleine. And La Baleine will welcome the civil society, the general public, and UNOC stakeholders for an immersive dive into ocean themes. A dozen of pavilions and even a lot of hundreds of events, exhibitions will raise awareness and the need for greater ocean protection. So, of course, Université Côte d'Azur students and staff will organize and participate to more than 30 events there. We are also organizing a lot of different events on our campuses. So you have the table on the screen, including, so we are organizing a lot of events, including our UNOC label side event dedicated to science policy interface. And these events will gather collaborators from French and Costa Rican universities, but not also universities. We also welcome stakeholders and other organizations, again from France, both France, Région Sud, and Costa Rica. And all these events take many forms: film debates, roundtables, workshops, including games, and the Mares Games will be presented here, artistic performance, and so on. So we have a lot of different events. All information will be updated on our webpage. So please stay tuned, and we'll be ready to react, because we are hoping you will join us on all these events. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cécile. Thank you, Sylvain. So before we conclude, we have a few thank you, of course, to say. We can see that Andrea, is coming back to your experience, Emily, and that Juliette can have kind of the word of conclusion on what you just say, Cécile. Go. It is really interesting. Thank you, Juliette. So, Tim, if you want to join me, just a few words. We had really last surprises that are not part of my list that I tried to list just before. We had around 40 countries and territories that we've been around, so we'll try to list them. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
France,
Indonesia,
Madagascar, Philippines, Mexico,
India,
Costa Rica, India,
Canada,
Seychelles,
Taiwan,
New Caledonia,
Germany,
Quebec in Canada,
Massachusetts, USA,
Curacao,
French Polynesia,
La Réunion,
Finland,
New Zealand,
Victoria, Australia,
Colombia,
Cyprus,
Cayman Islands,
Svalbard,
Chile,
New York, USA,
Greece,
Hong Kong,
Monaco,
Sardinia,
South Africa,
Madagascar,
Spain,
Netherlands,
Italy,
Guadeloupe,
Japan,
and
Australia.
Australia, yes. So yeah, we had a few surprises, and we have been really lucky to have only a few surprises, like people not showing up, and it was always for a good reason. One had to run to fix a device on an oceanographic vessel before its departure. We have 2 people also stuck in the field because they were supposed to talk to it directly in the field. One storm that cut the electricity of all a city in Canada. And honestly, we found that a little bit weird as an excuse until really recently when we just experienced exactly the same here. No storm, but it's a Saturday on campus. I also maybe one who never woke up, but we're not going to use name shaming here. So I just wanted to say thank you for a crazy team, because you really had to be crazy to accept to follow this ID 25 hours around the clock. So Crystal, Aziz, Tom, just crazy, but also all the speakers. We have heard about 90 people around the world, MARE students in general, alumni, and professionals from all around the world. Thank you to the university and to the governance to trust us into this event, to apply this event to UNOC and so to UN, to recognize MARES around the world as maybe the first side events of UNOC 2025. By the way, this live of 24 hours will remain available online in this link here, and it will be officially broadcasted on June 4 during UNOC. So, well, I think after these 24 hours of really blessed to be surrounded by a team like that, but also to have the opportunity to relax with so many people, so many students from around the world, international and international. Yeah, so thanks everyone. Stay connected. Let's say 25 hours is over. Bye-bye. And thank you, Cécile. Thank you, Sylvain. Thank you, Emily, for your time. Last one? Andrea. Cécile. Okay, Cécile is doing it. We can do it. I'm sure Sylvain is doing it. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you at the